All right, here we go, guys. And some news in the Fluke, black sea bass, and Porgy world. Primarily concerned about Fluke, maybe black sea bass secondary. Not that concerned about Porgies, but it's all coming out at the same time, so I thought we'd discuss. And proposed regulations, mostly impacting New York and Connecticut. Let's dive right into it. We're going to go to the Fisherman magazine. They were good enough to publish all the proposed regulations with a vote set for March 24. Here are the proposed regulations. Let's just dive right at them right now. So let's talk about black sea. Well, actually, let's talk about Porgies first. And the Interstate Fisheries Management, we're reading the article here, is requiring a 20.7 to 33% reduction in both Porgies and Seabass. And you'll see here, Fluke is going to receive a 16.5% liberalization. So they're going to either increase the quota, lower the size, increase the season. I'll share my thoughts on that in a second, but let's talk about the Porgies first. So Porgy's going to be a 1-inch increase. I believe it was 9 inches last year. It's going to go up to 10. It's actually saying it's going to increase to 11 inches compared to 10 inches last year. Apologies, I guess it wasn't 9. I don't really target Porgies, although they are fun to catch. Some people like the way they taste. I personally don't, but I know a lot of people do. So you'll see an increase to 11 inches. Black sea bass is interesting. They're calling for a reduction, and I know a lot of people say that sea bass are prevalent. They're everywhere. I actually agree with this. I've seen smaller sea bass last year, the year before, than prior years. It was fairly easy when we were fluke fishing to get a bycatch of black sea bass, keepers, limits. Not so much recently. They're a lot of sea bass, but they tend to be smaller. So there's quite a few proposals here. Again, this will affect New York and Connecticut. Proposal 1 is, so all three proposals, 16-inch minimum size. Last year was 15. Proposal 1 is 3 fish from June 23 to August 31. And then 6 fish from September 1 to December 31. Proposal 2 is 3 fish from June 24 to August 31, and then 7 fish from September 1 to Christmas to December 25. Proposal 3, 3 fish from June 28 to August 31, and then 7 fish from September 1 to December 31. Look, to me, I would probably go with option 1, 3 fish, June 23 to August 31, and then the 6 fish from September 1 to December 31. But again, I'm not really targeting them. They are a great bycatch. My opinion, they're the best tasting fish in our local waters, not counting tuna and offshore pelagics. From strictly an inshore fishing perspective, my favorite fish to eat, but I don't really target them. I would go with option 1. Let's get to the important one, in my opinion, or at least selfishly from my perspective, the important one, and that's the Fluke, the summer flounder. Last year, May 4 to September 30, 4 fish, 19 inches. They're talking about increasing either the quota, the size limit, and here are the options. Again, option 1, Connecticut and New York, 3 fish, May 4 to September 29 at 18 inches. Option 2, 5 fish, May 4 to September 30, 18.5 inches. And then option 3 is 4 fish, 18.5 inches, May 1 to October 9. If I were picking any of these, I would probably go with option 3. It'd be nice to target them for a few extra days. It would segue perfectly then into the blackfish season. That would result in a 16.5% increase in the quota projected over the year before. And I believe these quotas, FYI, are determined by the catches, surveys that the fishery boards take throughout the year, both recreational and commercial. I know as a charter captain, I have to fill a vessel transmittal report after each trip, send it to the New York State DEC, evidencing exactly what I caught, the size, the weight, bycatch, released fish. It's a burden, but I understand why they want to do that. And I actually think if you show less fish, it's almost counterintuitive that it should mean that, hey, are the fisheries pressured? People are catching less. I think it's the opposite. I think that evidence is that you didn't exceed the quota that they had allotted for that year, so that they'll increase the quota for the next year. And I know the last couple of years, while the fishing is still good, the fluke fishing is still really good, it's not what it was 5-6 years ago, at least in the areas I fish, the Peconics and Montauk, Block Island. Personally, if I were making these proposals, if I were setting the regulations, and I know this is not going to be popular with a lot of the folks, watching this, but I would probably institute some type of slot. I would probably go 18 to 20 inches, 4 fish, 3 fish, give people a chance to catch dinner. But everything I've read is that any fish 19, 20 inches and above is a female. Those are the breeders. Those are the ones that lay the millions of eggs. I think we should be releasing those bigger fish. If they're going to put quotas in, my opinion, let the big ones go. Keep the smaller ones for the dinner table. They taste better anyway. And I have a really strong feeling, or my opinion at least is very strong, that if we did that, you would really see larger fluke coming back in numbers, and more fluke coming back, because you're allowing those bigger fish, the ones that are the breeders, to continue doing what they do, would lay eggs and produce little fluke, which become big fluke over time. Let me know what you think of these proposed regulations. Again, March 24th, the Fisheries Board will vote. We should know shortly thereafter what the 2022 season will hold in store from a black sea bass and fluke perspective for New York and Connecticut, at least. Not sure about Jersey, how they do that. This is more focused on New York and Connecticut. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with these? Which one would you pick? What do you think of my idea about a slot limit? Letting the bigger ones go. Hope you enjoyed. As always, if you do like these videos, hit that like button. If you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing.